Hi guys, welcome to the tomb of illumination. This video is about a few things because I'm getting too much on my mind at the moment, and if I don't just start letting some of it out, I get totally lost. So we're going to go over a few things of what I have in my mind now, so I can flush that out and get on with what else I was doing. So we're here talking about the flat earth design and understanding the 2D and the 3D system, understanding the 2D plane. So that to get a grip on this, what you do is you imagine vortex water, right? A cylinder of vortex water. You've got the plane of the water being sucked down the gurgler, right? So the plane is always there, but what's happening with this water? It's going like this all the time. It's going up and down. Well, that's the same as the realm we live in. We've got the 2D plane that's fixed and stationary. It's always there, no matter what's going on here. I mean, it's all moving into the centre, but it's still there, right? It's up. This is going up and down as it's spinning, and that's what we have at the centre of creation, is a vortex. Okay. So we have the what they call the ecliptic plane, which is up here. The centre of the gurgler is the black hole, which runs all the way down here and also goes over through the core of the Milky Way, the other end of it, which comes out, finishes in the tropical region. Okay? They come and meet. They both meet, feeding the black hole and giving the sun energy, because the sun is right on the horizon of the black hole. So every month the moon is going up and down, spiralling like this, up and down. Go on vortex and water and you'll see what I mean. That's what's happening, okay? So that's one thing I wanted to get off my mind. So you can relate that to a video Ken Wheeler did. Theodora Apophasis, he calls himself, where he showed the magnet on top of ferrocell, or A-ring magnet, the ferrocell, and he started moving another strong neodymium magnet like this. And this is where you see the phase shifting. You see it's centralized in the center, but when he moves it a bit, it brings it down. I think he was raising it up and down. So as it came down, it sort of blobbed out. It popped out the sides, and then as he raised it, it popped back up again. Well, this is the phase shift of the season. So imagine the sun's in a lemma. Of course we don't see the whole thing at once, we just see one spot at a time. So once the sun's come down to the southern hemisphere like this, that's popped out, that's gone, because the field is now popped out to the south. It's popped out here. This is where the sun is permanently seen all around the Antarctic. Okay? And when it pops back up, it's permanently seen around the Arctic, north. Okay? Even though it's going around every day, you know, as you get closer towards the equator. But we all have an image of the sun. It's due to our eyeballs. But there is only one actual sun back here, which is pure plasma that's unseen. So you ask the flat earthers, you know, how can we see the sun? Is the sun helium? Helium is a clear gas. You can't see it. So why are we seeing it? Well, they'd have to tell you this. You're seeing it because of the light spectrum. Well, it's the same thing with the flat earth system. You're only seeing an image of the sun due to the light spectrum. But the real sun cannot be seen. It's pure plasma. What's the story there? Well, it's all described in this flat earth system. It's back there, and we get an image as it comes out. We see an image at the end of the Milky Way. Well, that's one way of seeing it, but we all see an image all over the earth because it's all due to our eyeballs within our arc of horizon, and that's going deep. I've been over that plenty of times before, okay? So the sun is only seen due to the light frequencies, and our eyeballs pick up the light frequencies and feed our brain an image. Okay, so it's not reality, is it? So, you know, how does a flat earther, how does a spinning ball globies explain all that? It's all garbage. They're trying to tell you there's this fiery gas ball out there in the middle of nowhere, 93 million miles away. Yet with our little Earth, 93 million miles away, we just happen to see it just in here. Just in here. How convenient. So the globe's an utter joke, okay? Magnetic field, the snake. Okay, well here's another way of depicting it, you see. The magnetic field is represented by the serpent, the snake, in all the ancient stories. Magnetic field, snake, closes. So look at the hand. Looks like a snake head, right? Well, look what's happening here. Open, close, open, close. The system, up and down, all the time. That's what the moon does every month. And you could say the stars do that every day. Because they do a cardioid. They spiral out and spiral back in. Spiral out, spiral back in over 24 hours. You've got to imagine, see, there's the mouth of the snake, up and down, and there's the magnetic field, the snake. That's what it's doing. Another way to imagine it. There's 4 motions of all the celestial bodies, yet in the globe theory they'll only tell you there's 3, and precession is the 3rd, which is a load of garbage. I'm about to go over that. Motion, there's 4 motions, the daily sun and Milky Way, because the Milky Way and the sun are one. The sun is in the Milky Way. There's one motion, it moves around the sky every day. The moon moves around the sky every day, but it's its own motion, it's a bit slower than the sun. Planets and the stars. Well, we've got planets and the stars. Okay, planets is another one, there's 3rd, which is slower than the stars. Slower than the sun, slower than the moon, okay, is it? I'm thinking yearly as opposed to daily, but anyway, you can figure that one out. And all moving in the same direction. Everything moves in the one direction. There's only one central source back at creation. It's the one vortex. They're all going in the same direction, just in different times, speeds, due to the energy field. Okay? Because all the energies are the dead centre here, and the further you come out, the slower things will go. There's 4 motions, okay? Now, someone once mentioned to me that the moon wasn't always here. And I says, don't be silly. How can you not have a moon and have a sun? Because the moon is the sun. But it is written that the moon wasn't always here, somebody said to me, because I haven't read it, but it's there somewhere. I think I did read it a long time ago. Because the moon is only in the... And why? Okay. Because the moon is only in the 3D image, our realm. The projection from the 2D, the negative of the sun. The central vortex of creation is about expansion and contraction, just like the human heart. Full moon is the up or out action, while new moon is in or down in the vortex, the 3D depth. So we've got the 3D depth, and our realm is from the 3D depth. We exist in that magnetic field of the 3D depth of creation. Okay? And it's all moving around the centre hole. And our centre hole is the centre, right in the centre of the north. It's the Arctic. That's where all the energy is coming up and out of. So our whole realm is all around the centre, right? Well, we've got the sun up here, but the moon on the plane, okay, but the moon is down in here. So the moon is only created inside the 3D depth, and that's where our realm begins. So this 3D depth has come about from this magnetic field here, or black hole, whatever. It's been created. So that's our realm. We're created from this area in here. So then that's where we get the moon. There's no moon up here, although you can bring it all back to the flat plane, but because creation is from this 3D depth, okay, we get the moon down here. This is why the mythological stories, actually I think I just read it, which made me think of that somewhere. I'm always jumping from one story to the other. Okay, so this is why they say that the moon wasn't always here, because the moon at the beginning of time was not there. It's when our realm was created, the moon is created. Because the moon is a negative image of the sun. It's just like we are negative images of the stars. We all have a star up there. You got heaven and earth. You've got this negative image. It's a duality. Always a duality. Okay? So think of that. Realise the magnetic phase shift prior to the equinox. Bang! When the field comes out or pops back up. Right here. I miss celebrating the March 6th crossing. Because I'm always thinking about our side, southern side. So you've just had yours, you've missed it. 13th of March now, so it was around about the 6th of March as well, because it's 6th of September here. May vary a little bit over the years. But that's basically where you get the... there's three days where the sun is fixed, does not move in declination, okay? You'll see it on the horizon for 3 days, or at least 2.5. Rising in the exact same place. Damn it, I meant to check that. Before it starts moving across the water, walking across the water. Sun is the Christ, okay? I saw a video recently, this old lady, an old physicist, talking about things. And just mentioning they have this 1 to 2 system, then they have the 2 to 3 system. And it brought me back to the magnetic field of the earth. How we have the like magnetism, this system here, we have the field coming up off the earth, which is magnetic, coming and then passing by the central sun. Doesn't all go into there, but some goes in there, and then expressed out. And at the same time you've got the field, the other end of the Milky Way, the mainland, coming in, where they meet at the black hole and the sun on its horizon. You've got a 2 system here, 2-way. That's electromagnetic. There's just the magnetic. There's the 1 to 2, right? Then it goes on to a 2 to 3, but then got a bit more. It gets a bit more complicated, and I couldn't figure out how to explain that properly. But that's in our earthly system. Well, we've got the 3 to 2 ratio of the magnetic cycle, which is this here. But I've done enough on that. Now, trying to explain precession. Understanding precession, how you don't need a moving platform. Like, they start spinning you the story about Hippocus, right? Which is a total joke, because look, Hippocus, the Egyptians talk about the hippo, mention the hippo, it's one of their deities. You got hippo, so you got the hippo, look, the hippopotamus's butt, okay? That's the flat earth system there. That's the 2 hemispheres. There's a northern hemisphere in here. Creation's in here. That's the centre Arctic. Southern hemisphere, two northern hemisphere, and the tropics. So you get the hippopotamus's butt. Arc. You got the arc. What are these? They look like arcs. Okay? And then you got us. Hipparchus. Us originates from os. What does os refer to? Os. Towards, because the field comes in towards, or they're facing each other, towards, against each other, before, was the beginning, that's the before, near, cross, down. Mentioned the way the cross system works plenty of times, but he's describing this whole flat earth system. He's trying to tell you you're living on a ball. So he said you had to, it meant the earth had to move to create precession. And you've got all this this silly system here, right? Sun's flying around this sunway out there, but it's tilted. It's magically tilted when there's no up or down in space. But then they create this wobble. Look, it's got a vertical wobble here. So there's vertical, why it's not on its side. See, it's all make-believe. They just make it up to suit their own imagination, to make sense, to make sense in their minds. But you forget all that garbage. You come back to reality. Earth's fixed and stationary from the plane, the black hole fixed and stationary with 3D depth, and we're in this depth. So let's say this is how you work on the equinoxes, the precession of the equinoxes. So every year the sun and stars do their cycle over a year, but the sun is quicker and it catches up to the stars and laps them, but not quite, okay? It stops short. Let's say the equinox stops short and finishes here. The next year it finishes here. The next year it finishes here. So each year it's dropping back 1440 minutes. Well, no, it's not. If it was a full lap and turned up in the same place as the stars every year, you wouldn't know. You'd think it was just doing the same thing, following the same cycle. But it's actually faster. The sun is faster and laps the stars over 1 year. If it was a full lap, it would be 1440. Okay, and it's starting the same place again in relation to the stars, the sidereal cycle. But it's slightly short. It finishes slightly shorter. It's actually down to 1299.4, I think it is, minutes. Which basically ends up 20 minutes a year, thereabouts. It falls short. So each year it falls short. What fills up that void? Stars. So you look at it this way. You're looking at here, man on the earth, fixed and stationary. It's the sun moving around above you. It's fixed. Look, that line hasn't moved all night. I drew it up yesterday. Still there, look. Now the sun, you see it there 1 year, be there, there. So what happens if you take that away? Pops up there the next year. What's going to fill the void? Well, more stars. This is what happens. So everything moves in the one direction. There is only one creative force. One central vortex. Everything's moving this way. Depending on how you want to look at it. It's one way, but there's one way. It moves stars. Everything's moving this way. But if the sun stops short each year, all the stars, because the whole backdrop's blackness and stars, is going to start filling up the void. So they are showing up the way as the sun drops back. Here we go. Stars are moving this way, but they are showing up this way as the sun drops back. We've got an arrow here showing this one. So they're turning up backwards, filling up that void as the sun drops back every year, right? It's quite simple to understand, but it seems as I'm the only person in the world who explains the whole true flat earth model. And this is what's happening. So this is why they tell you the stars are going that way in a way, especially with the equinox precession. Okay? So then you go into other things like, let's read this, like the leap year, but that just makes up for the fact that the year is slightly longer than 365 days. So you've got to move things to equal the seasons. What was the other one? I can't remember. If the sun moved ahead of the stars 4 minutes per day, but it's not quite 4 minutes, then after 365 days the sun would make one full lap of the stars per year to end up in the same place at the equinox. But it isn't a full 4 minutes, it is about 3 minutes 56 seconds, just shy of a full lap on the stars. This is the precession. Here's the observer. So the balance between 1440, which would be the full cycle, and 1299.4 minutes is the total lag per year and extra amount of stars fill the void. Okay? That's so simple to understand. But people aren't getting it. My tools here. What have we got over here? So they say the stars are quicker each day than the sun by 4 minutes. But there's only 4 minutes more stars the next night because the sun has moved forward by 4 minutes. Okay, so as the sun moves forward in its cycle, then these stars will jump around, will turn up behind the sun as the sun moves this way. This is just bringing everything down so you can understand it. Because remember, the backdrop is all stars, say. So the more the sun moves forward, the more stars are going to fill up the void behind it. 4 minutes in the void. So the next night, because you're not seeing the sun at night time, are you? You're just seeing the early stars there. You go, oh. So you assume the stars have turned up quicker than the sun. Because 4 minutes more each night. Done plenty of videos on that. So isn't this funny? Spinning ball, there's no up and down. They don't joke, they say there's no up and down in space. But you look, they start drawing everything vertical. And you know that the sun is not nothing square or parallel with the equator. They have to have the ball on this 23.4 degrees tilt for their seasonal changes. And they're constantly saying flat earthers don't have a system. But I go on their sites and I don't see anybody ever mention, don't be stupid mate, say something like, don't be stupid mate, we've got the full model. Lindsay Harris explains that quite easily with the flat earth model. How come no one's saying that? So I'm starting to think flat earth is just as ignorant as the globies. What conclusion can I come to? No one's ever saying that we know. We know the whole system. You should know it by now. I've explained it enough times. Hey look, the 5 holy days. Egyptians talk about the 5 holy days. The Aztecs talk about the 5 holy days. Aztecs talk about 260 days that no one's ever understood. It's misinterpreted, but it is connected with what they tell you online with the 13 days of 20 cycles. It's just it's correlating these deities with a certain amount of number, because as it revolves, they create it comes about this divine period when that particular type of deity is reborn, which is still to do with spiritual enlightenment. There's several entities, okay? You're not all the same. So the Jesus story is the ultimate one, and that comes about at a certain time. And I know the Jesus story, so I know exactly what the 260 days represents. And it's not as complicated as what they tell you. It just starts at a certain time and ends at a particular time. You count all those days and it comes to 260 days. It's a well, it is difficult for people to understand, but I'm the only one who understands it, okay? And I can tell you. And that's all going to come out with my big reveal, the floodgates video. So if this video gets out to YouTube, which it probably will, and you want to understand all of creation, all the mythological stories, what the hell religion's all about, whether you're an atheist or a crazy Christian, or a nice Christian, but you just misunderstand everything. If you want to understand it all, I'm starting it with a video. It's like opening the floodgates. Once you take this, this will be a foundation to everything else I'm about to explain. You have to have that foundation video before you can move on. You want to get on my Patreon and we discuss it over there. I'm not going to discuss it here. So if you want to be the first in the world to understand all this stuff, you start understanding all the ancient philosophers, Da Vinci. I'm not even going to mention the names because they're all part of the big reveal. But you will start to understand all the mythological stories, what the ancient philosophers have been trying to tell you, most definitely what the ancient Egyptians have left you. You understand all the flat earth system because everything connects with it. So you have to understand how the flat earth works before you die. Otherwise you just get recycled through the gurgler, have to go through the same old crap you've been through in a different form though, until you eventually wake up. This will help you reach your rebirth and find the hidden door to escape this matrix. Okay? That's all I'll put in this video for now. Thanks for watching. Put a likes up if you're interested in this thing. Even my own Patreons aren't putting likes up, not even watching my videos I put on Patreon. And subscribe anyway. Cheers.